the microphone happens to be picking up some external noises, it's just my husband snow blowing. Yep, about 8 inches of snow last night. We are done with winter, but guess what? We're here to do some yoga, which kind of allows, if you pardon the pun, all the stuff that is frustrating or irritating to kind of melt away from us. This morning, or whatever time you happen to be practicing, if you are watching the recording, we're going to focus on figure four. There are so many variations and ways to take figure four that are beneficial for the body. And some of them are difficult. And one of them, in fact, I'm still practicing. So I might fall over in that. But that's cool, right? Because we learn and we're working with the body and we're figuring out what movement and placement and how the breath cadence works with that. So we're actually going to start with a standing warm up today. So go ahead and rise up, rise up. I'm going to try and move backward enough so you can see my whole body. All right, let's just start by shaking things out. Hopefully you're in a nice warm space. But if you're not, you're about to be, because you're going to emanate your own heat. So find some dance moves, some wiggling. Yeah, I probably would never be on Broadway. Ta-da! Ta-da! All right, now we're going to take either the flats of our hands, or you could use light fists, and we're going to start to work our lymph system a little bit. I'm going to keep rocking back and forth because that feels good to me. So you do the whole arm, inner and upper, across the chest, the other arm. You can also do it in any order that you wish. Getting under the arm, as close to the scapula as we can, and then we go down the body. The legs are my favorite. I feel like they wake up the most. Go as far up your low back as you can. Upper back, neck. Maybe use the tips of the fingers to tap the head, around the ears, the forehead, the cheekbones, the upper lip, middle of the chin, jaw. And then I'm going to take one hand and just tap the center of the chest right underneath the beautiful center throat. All right. We're going to wash everything away. I'm already warmed up, so I'm going to take off my outer layer. Did I say my name is Karen? I can't remember. Welcome to yoga. Yep, there's a word. We're together for about 50 minutes here. All right, stand in mountain pose. Palms face forward if they can. And just check. You might have your pelvis forward, or maybe your bottom backward and your chest forward. We want to stack. We want to feel this energy from the earth rising up the inner arches of the feet. Not so that the feet go out on their edge, but so you feel a little lift. And that drives upward to the knees. The knees don't lock, they're soft, but there's energy then driving up into the hips, which stack over the knees, and then up. So the torso is long, but the shoulders are not crunched against your ears. And then maybe you're turtling your neck or you're dropping your head. Go ahead and press the top of the back of the head back a teeny bit. Let's step our feet a little bit wider. They're parallel to the outer edges of the mat. Slight bend to the knees. We're going to reach the arms wide, activate all the parts of the arms, feel the triceps, creating a circle of energy around us. And then as we press that energy down through the center, the knees bend, almost like a chair pose. And then we lift up, straightening but not locking. And we push down and then up and energy down. And we're going to move the opposite way, flip the palms upward. We lift the beautiful energy from the earth upward, surround ourselves with it, and the knees bend and the hands come in front. We do twice more. Maybe you might imagine you're filling this bubble with color, positive energy. One more time. We'll stay in our crouch, our sort of light, wide-legged chair with the hands on the belly and the elbows out. Next, tuck the tailbone forward a little bit. We're going to rise onto the balls of the feet. Smile. We're going to shift to the heels of the feet and lift the toes off. You might feel your belly contract a little bit more. And then bring the toes one at a time, starting with the pinky toes, down to the earth. And then use each entire foot to press yourself back to standing. Very nice. All right, we're going to bring the feet a little bit close together. I'm moving forward a little bit so I have enough space on my mat. Actually, tell you what I'll do. I'll bring my mat backwards. That's a wiser move. We'll reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Knees can bend. Use your blocks or a prop if you have them. Halfway lift. Pause here. Tailbones backward. Crown of the head forward. Shoulder blades backward. Next, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Palms will draw together overhead. See if you can, rather than lifting the shoulders from the tops of the shoulders, see if you can identify the muscles just under the scapula and see if you can lift up a little bit from there. It's something you'll want to do in your down dog as well. We're going to drop the right arm and take a tilt over to the right. We want to get as curved on the left as possible as we expand the rib cage. Heart is lifting. And we sweep that hand down and both arms up, palms together. This time, elbows bend, fingers come into the nape of the neck or between the shoulder blades. Lift the torso, make it long, sort of like lifting from just at the top of the pelvis all the way up to the breastbone. And then a teeny little lift from the scapula, the shoulder blades. Then we interlace the fingers, press the hands to the back of the head, and we'll take a little tilt to the right. Open up those arms, those pecs, the chest, lift back up, breathe in, and exhale, tilt the other way. Rise up. Palms together overhead. This time the left hand drops. We get nice and tall on both sides. Lower the left shoulder and tilt to the left. Pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. Feeling that stretch all the way up the leg, the hip, the rib cage, the underarm, the arm to the pinky. Arms lift overhead. Exhale, cactus shape arms. Let's go ahead and step either the right foot forward or the left foot back. It's not a huge step, and make some space between your feet. You might take your left toes and dial them slightly diagonally. We'll go ahead and bring the right elbow underneath the left, one wrap or two. Elbows lift shoulder height or higher, hands are away from the face. We're going to come halfway down at the hips, working to keep the hips square. Right hand to your hip, left hand outside your right calf. You're lowering down a little bit more. Use that right hand to press the right hip backward. And then go ahead and keeping the hands where they are, lift halfway again. Nice long, long, long spine. You might start to feel the stretch in the IT band, in the hamstrings, maybe in the calf. We're going to go ahead and twist to the right. You might bring your hand behind you in a half bind or up overhead. So it's a breath in long, belly squeezes for the twist. Exhale, both hands down to blocks or the mat. Runner's lunge. You're going to push that left foot behind you a bit more. Find a little energy lift from the belly and the heart. Lengthen your front leg, fold over it. And take the time to take all of the pieces of the process here. So we're going to lift the foot, except the heel, off the mat. Spine long, so shoulders away from the ears. The foot comes down, hands come a little forward, we tap the back knee, and then we lengthen that leg again. Hands come backward, and we lift the ball of the foot, fold more. Inhale forward, runner's lunge. You might need to change where your chest is leading. Tap the back knee. One more time, lift up, lengthen and fold. Foot down, tap the back knee, runner's lunge, beautiful. Step forward, forward fold. Slowly roll up to stand. Arms lift overhead, exhale, hands to your heart. We'll take it to the other side, hands to your hips. Step backward with your right foot or forward with your left. It's not a huge step. Feet are parallel, you might dial your right toes little on the diagonal. Arms reach overhead, cactus shape. Draw the belly in. You might say, Karen, where the heck are the figure fours? We're getting there. This time, left elbow under right. One wrap or two, we lift, we float, we draw the belly in, we open up the real estate between the shoulder blades, and we press the left hip back using the ball of the foot and come halfway down. As we come all the way down, the left hand comes to the left hip and presses it back, and the right hand comes outside your left calf. You might drop your head, just give it a little bit of looseness, and then lift halfway up. Breathe in, let the shoulders draw to the hips. Exhale, take a twist to your left. If you like, a half bind, or maybe the arm up toward the sky. Mine doesn't quite go up toward the sky. And then we lift halfway and twist again. Breathe in, squeeze the belly up under the ribs and twist. Yeah. And both hands down to the mat. Step the right foot back farther, runner's lunge. Set yourself up here. Maybe you need blocks. Knees should be over your ankle in the front and the back knee not bent if you can help it. So just as we did before, belly energy away from your thighs, shoulders away from your ears, and lengthen the front leg. We're not required to bring the back heel down. Peel the ball of the front foot off the mat. Maybe the hands move back to support you better for a long spine. Foot comes down, tap the back knee. Lengthen, extend the front leg, lift the ball of the foot. Inhale forward, draw the belly in, shoulders back, tap the back knee. Getting so much of the body here. Press that left hip back, lengthen the leg. Lift up the foot. Last time, back knee down and up. But this time we're going to bring the hands inside the left foot. Turn the left foot a little more to the left. Maybe make a wider stance. Step into Malasana. Some of you might say, wow, it's really early. My body is actually saying that. You just go as far as you can. Forearms inside, not your forearms, your triceps inside your thighs. And maybe over time, the bottom can sink a little bit and the back is nice and long. So our first foray into the figure 4 is going to be seated. So from here, maybe you can gracefully find your way to a seat, and maybe not. Balls of feet, whole foot on the floor. Feet are about 2 fists distance apart. We sit up nice and tall. Maybe it will feel really good actually to press the belly and the chest against the thighs and give yourself a nice hug. Then we shall lift up. We're going to start by adding another hip opener, which we just did in our lunge. Baddha Konasana. So soles of feet together. Hands on your ankles if you can reach and sit up straight. If not, they could be on your calves, which gives you more leverage with your arms. Or if you have enough space in your spine, you might open your feet like a book. But let's all sit up as opposed to rounding into this. In the children's world of yoga, this is often called butterfly. So if you'd like to take a little light twinkling, if you will, of your butterfly wings, feel free. I know I can see that one of my knees is higher than the other. If they're way up, you might want to place a block under each, or a pillow, or a rolled up sweatshirt. And we're going to take one more pose before we do our seated figure 4. So lengthen your left leg. Heel reaches away, toes reach forward toward you. Sit up nice and straight. Take a look over at the bent knee. Maybe even take a twist. Left hand outside that thigh or on top of it so the knee doesn't lift. Right hand behind you, fingers face away. Sit up tall, breathe in. And twist. Shoulder blade, especially on the right side, is moving in toward the left one. Inhale, face the other knee, and exhale, crawl the hands forward. You're leading with the chest. So if you feel like you want to go further, but the body is saying no, maybe there's a slight bend in your front knee, but you don't want to start to round the spine or even deeply round the spine. We will rise up and we'll switch the positions of the legs. Finding yourself seated firmly, right heel reaching away, maybe a prop under your left knee, and we'll lift the sternum and twist over the left knee. When your eyeballs follow the direction of the twist, they often can take a longer journey, a farther journey, which means more opportunity to activate the vagus nerve. I can feel an amazing popping along my spine. Not dangerous, not painful, but I just felt all of the spine in the L space kind of loosen up and let go. On exhale, we face the right knee. Inhale. And exhale, walk the hands forward. Be careful about the foot dropping inward or outward, left and right. And we rise up. Okay, figure 4, variation 1 is seated. So both feet on the ground, 2 fists width distance between them. You might move them forward of your sitting bones. Now give yourself the baseline stance, the foundation. You should be able to feel your sitting bones on your mat unless, of course, you have a pillow or something underneath them. You might still be able to feel them on the pillow. And especially for someone like me who is a little generous in that area, I can feel my sitting bones on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and lift and hug in my right knee, keeping the left knee as pointed toward the sky as I can. So that means pressing into the big toe mound of the left foot. Keeping a nice strong back, I'm going to move that knee outward. As I move it in, I will hook the right ankle above the left knee and activate the right foot. Pretend you have bookends on the right thigh, on the left foot, and sit up straight. This might be where you stay. If, without rounding your spine, you can bring the right heel closer to your body, you might scoop up. Maybe your bookends now have a strap on them, as long as you can sit up straight. And for some, you might even, either way, whether you're holding onto the leg or not, you might just hold on with your hands and stretch your left leg and find some movement, often referred to as rocking the baby. But trying to keep the heart lifted toward the calf and the spine long without lifting up the head, rather the crown of the head. To lengthen your torso, you're feeling the hips move down, the top of the pelvis, the rib cage, and underneath the scapula, the shoulder blades lift up. Beautiful. All right, we're going to come out of this. Paschimottanasana. We're going to just take a little wriggle of the legs, and if you like, a little fold over them. Again, you're looking for a long spine. My right toes love to go in toward the midline, so I'm going to pull them out and toward me. And as you see, I do not have my hands on my feet because I don't want to round my spine. I don't have that much flex. All right, we're going to come back up. Both feet back on the ground. Little distance between them. A hug of the left knee into the chest. Sit up nice and tall. So get the feeling of the tallness and the straightness and the hugging into the thigh nest. And the big toe mound of the right foot is pressing in. We move the left knee out. Just giving it a little bit of movement here. And then as we move it in, we cross the ankle above the right knee. You might find that this side feels different. It sure does for me. I'll tell you that much. So I got my bookends going. I'm going to try the baby rocking. I don't know if I can get there this morning. So I scoot my ankle more toward my hip. My arms reach around. And the heart reaches toward the calf. You might stay here. Maybe you extend your right leg and find your rocking. Now, if you're feeling any torquing in your knee or your ankle, then please loosen out of this. You really want your the sole of your foot flat against your bicep, in as flat as it could be because you're super strong, so you have biceps that are punching out. Sitting up nice and tall. And again, we unwind into Paschimottanasana, our seated double-legged forward fold. Nice work, everyone, in our first variation. Our second variation is going to be very interesting. So why don't we go ahead and find a child's pose. Allow your head to rest on something. And we're going to work on two variations next, but let's start in child's. And maybe remind ourselves why we're on our mats today. Could be something for you. Could be something for others. Could be something for both. For example, I'm on my mat to start my day in a calm, unselfish way.
that is going to benefit others with whom I come in contact today. See if you can breathe out and allow the sitting bones to draw more toward the hips. Draw the wrists off the mat and come onto your fingertips. And now see if from the just under the shoulder blades, you can lengthen a little bit. It feels like the shoulders come up toward the ears a teeny, because they do. And then that means you can crawl your hands forward a little bit more just to feel that experience of lifting from underneath the shoulder blades. All right, we're going to bring the hands down to the mat. We're going to find our way into a tabletop. And any movement or shapes that the body is calling for, don't think about it, just do. Or allow, as it were. Take those here. We meet in a tabletop. The navel draws in. There's space between the shoulder blades, so your tailbone's tucking down a little bit. And you're pressing the tops of the feet into the mat to start. If your wrists are bothering you, you can always use your fists or use blocks. But I encourage you to check out, even if you don't do it in downward dog, a little lift from the center of your palm to take some of the energy out of your wrists. We're going to tuck the toes under and lift into a downward dog. Maybe pedal things in, find the actual length of the down dog that feels right for you. If you move your hands and your feet too close together, you're not using the right muscles. If your arms are not by your ears, you're going to want to work on lengthening the space underneath the scapula again. All right, we're going to lift up the right leg. And then we're going to take it in figure 4 in our downward dog. So I have to move forward for that a little bit and then back. So here's variation 2 of our figure 4. For variation 3, we're going to come into a plank. Woo! Keep that belly in and come back to your downward dog. 3-legged dog. Open it up. Right hip over left. Knee might bend. Ankle circles. Open and close the toes. Straighten your leg out. Knee to nose. Extend, and foot comes down to the mat. If you need a breather, go ahead and take that. Maybe a child's pose. We're going to lift that left leg again. Find our figure 4. This one's harder on this side for me. And then high plank figure 4. And downward dog. And 3-legged dog. Knee to nose, and downward dog. I personally am going to take a break because the next one is harder. So find your child's pose or tabletop. You're welcome to find any stretch or other pose that feels good for you here. Let your head rest on something if you're in child's. So the next one we'll come into from the down dog figure 4. And this is something I'm working on, so I can't promise that I won't fall over. Which means, of course, if this is your introduction to a figure 4 side plank, be very careful and know that it's just yoga. Since I've been practicing this posture for a couple of days and you have not. You might get it right away. You might have a stronger core than I do. We're coming back into tabletop. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Downward dog, figure 4 with the right leg crossed above the left knee. And then we're going to come into plank. And then turn the hips to the left, bringing the right foot down. And I'm going to fall. And I bring my right arm and my hand into a fist.
My right foot is on the ground, or the ball of my foot is. And I'm going to come back,
Lift my right leg and bring it to the mat. Other side, lifting the left leg, downward dog figure 4. Maybe your right hand comes a little closer to you. You come to a side plank on the right outside edge of that right foot. I have my left toes on the ground. That's not the full, there's a fuller expression. And we come back and downward dog. Let's go ahead and come back to our tabletop.
And we'll find a seat. Due to time, the extra 2 versions of figure 4, I will leave to 1 version. There is the standing figure 4, but I think the plank was a lot of work. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Bring them as wide as our mat. Hands behind, knees touch. And now very slowly, without taking the left hip off the ground, we want to move the knees to the right. Ultimately, there is an aim to bring the left knee down if your body allows it, but not if your sitting bone comes away from the earth. And we're going to take it in the other direction. Yes, we're taking the power down. Slowing down. Nice. All right, we're going to come into Baddha Konasana again. Moving the sitting bones toward the heels. We're going to move this into a back bend. Hands behind you, fingers point toward you. One at a time, you come to the forearms. And you say, how do I get into a back bend from here? You might move your heels closer toward your sitting bones. And now stretch the torso. So you're pressing into the heels of the palms and the forearms to lengthen from the tip of the pelvis all the way to the breastbone. So now you're longer. And you begin to press the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart, and maybe the head drops back. And if you can, you breathe, continuing to stretch and reach upward with the heart like it's attached to the sun, which right now for me is behind snow clouds, but it's there. I can feel its warmth. I'm sharing my energy through this golden thread with the sun, and the sun is sharing it back. And we breathe. And one at a time, loosen the elbows outward. Supta Baddha Konasana, arms overhead, if that feels okay for you. I like to hook my thumbs and spread my fingers like so many turkey tails. Whew. Back, low back presses toward the earth. Nice and long. And then you're welcome to turn this into a full body stretch. Lengthening the legs, pointing the toes forward. Arms will sweep out. We'll just rest there for a moment with the shoulder blades on the ground. The heart is still lifting a little bit. And you might even just work that. You're not lifting the pelvis or anything. You're just working the muscles under, so below and behind the shoulder blades. You might also feel the pectorals get involved. Nice, all right. Soles of the feet back on the mat. Our last figure 4 variation. So as you might remember, we did a seated version. We did downward dog. We did plank, side plank, and now we're doing supine. So the only other figure 4 that I practice, there might be more I can't think of, is the standing figure four. I am willing to bet there is a reverse tabletop figure four as well, although I've never seen anyone do it. Okay, we're gonna hug. Let's hug both knees in to start. Take some circles with the knees, rolling the low back around, feeling the back of the hips, the low spine, getting a little massage. And when you're ready, I'll take it in the other direction. Also check in if your chin is higher than your nose. Either tuck your chin a little bit by lengthening the back of your neck, or throw something underneath your head, a folded hoodie, a sweater, a blanket, a flat-ish pillow. All right, continue to keep the right knee gathered in and place the left leg on the ground. Right knee crosses left thigh. A right ankle crosses left thigh. Activate, just like we were seated, activate the right foot. You can use the palm of your hand to press the thigh and knee of that right leg away from you. This might be plenty for you. You can also gather in the left knee so that you're creating more of a bend in the right hip. And you're welcome to take either the back of the left thigh and draw it in, or the front on the shin, which I don't do because it hurts my knee. Actually, it's not hurting my knee, so I'm going to do it today. Check in with the shoulder blades. See how much you can press them toward the earth. You might need to make more space in between them. Anybody who's got a right arm very near or touching the right leg, use it as a lever to press the leg away from you. Those of you who want to practice it or have it in your practice, you can extend your left leg, take a hold of your calf, your ankle, your pant leg, or your big toe, and work to stretch the hamstrings. That is not in my repertoire. We're going to move right into a twist from here. So we're going to take the left leg and foot and step it a little to the mat, but to the edge of the mat. There's your figure four still. Keep your right ankle there. And then shift your hips to the left, and knees to the right. Arms drop out nice and wide. And then you can lift and turn your head so that your nose is facing away the opposite direction of your knees. So knees facing to the right, head facing to the left. Stretch, stretch, stretch between the shoulder blades so that they are on the ground. If they are not, you might need to come out of the twist a little bit. You might wonder what the intention is with this posture relative to feeling the twist. Feeling the twist is the area and the muscles from just under the right, or just in the back of the right shoulder, so the shoulder blade, down and around the spine to the front of the left hip. The left hip energy is drawing forward. With this particular twist, you may also feel a stretch of the quads on the left side. All right, moving to the supine figure four on the other side. Begin to heel toe the left foot in front of the left sitting bone. Come all the way onto your back. Hug your right knee in. Take some ankle circles. Maybe some knee circles. And the right foot lands on the ground. Shift the body around as need be to straighten the spine as much as it naturally would be. We hug the left knee in. Take some ankle circles. Open and close the toes. Then you bring that left knee out to the left. And then cross the left ankle on the lower part of the right quad. Feel free to just press the left thigh away from you with your left hand. Might be good to move the heel of that hand up and down the inner thigh. If you like to attempt or practice, or it's in your practice, the right knee draws toward your chest, and you can either take a hold of the shin or the thigh, but you're really looking for the shoulder blades to be connected to the earth. At this time, if you'd like to work on a hamstring stretch, you can extend that right leg and take a hold of your pant leg, your ankle, or your big toe to bring in a hamstring stretch. I find that for me, it takes away from the hip stretch, so I prefer remaining here. All right foot lands on the ground. We heel toe it to the right. We shift our hips a little to the right. And then we go ahead and dip the knees to the left. Plop open the arms, palms up, and turn the neck so that the gaze, even if your eyes are closed, are toward your right, is toward your right hand with your knees to the left. Wow. That was an awesomely written paragraph. Maybe I did it in Copilot. I don't think I can mention that, so maybe I did it in the AI. Erase that. What do they call that? The AI is hallucinating. All right, gently we'll roll onto the spine, heel toeing the right foot in. Let's take both knees into the chest now. Give them a squeeze and circle them. If you'd like to circle the left knee on its own first. We did not do that at the end of the twist, so you might take that first. And then move into the double knee circle. I'm just going to check the time while you're doing that. All right. Let's go ahead and keep the knees toward the chest. Shift one hip at a time and bring your hand underneath it with the palm facing down. You're welcome to keep the knees bent here, but let's first spread the shoulder blades and feel them connected. A little lift of the chest, and then if you like, without a lot of effort and force, you can straighten the legs out. Doesn't really matter. It's sort of like letting the feet hang and the legs hang, but upside down, which doesn't sound like hang. These would be stalagmites because they're coming up from the earth, as opposed to stalactites, which come from the ceiling. I know, little tiny bit of information that doesn't even matter, but maybe you'll play a pub trivia game soon and we'll ask that question. All right, any final movement, shape, posture the body is asking for, you take it here, and then we'll find a couple moments in Shavasana. Shavasana, a posture that is relaxing, that you don't have to effort, which might mean placing something under your knees or your head or both. Or perhaps keeping your knees bent with the feet on the ground, although I prefer that you place something behind the knees. There's space between the legs, there's space between the arms and the side bodies. The palms are facing upward. This allows for an integration of all of your practice, your intention, your breath, your movement, your shapes, your spirit, your mind, your consciousness. Breath is effortless. Body is heavy. It might even feel like the body remains there, but the spirit lifts a little out of it. Deepen the breath. Return movement into the body, maybe a full body stretch again. And whatever way makes sense for you, find yourself in a seat. Legs crossed or not. Arms on your thighs, palms facing upward. You're welcome to take any sort of mudra that works for you here. Consider the merit of your practice and how you would apply it. When we share the merit of yoga and the outcomes, if you will, of yoga, it's just like a candle lighting 1,000 other candles. Its own light does not diminish. Draw the palms together at your heart. We'll close the practice with a single chant of Om. You're welcome to join in or just listen or breathe it without any sound. We expel all the air from the lungs and breathe in completely. Thumb knuckles draw right to the centered forehead. You are loved. You give love. Namaste. Heartfelt gratitude to all of those, whether using this video or live or not, all of those who are making the time to find, to discover, to explore their best selves through yoga. I hope to see you soon. Thank you. My name is Karen, coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios, and I will see you next week, or really, you'll see me. Thank you. Bye.